American Pickers star Frank Fritz's conservatorship reveals the star was unemployed before his stroke despite spin-off talks. Frank, 59, was hospitalized for a stroke on July 14 and has been at a rehabilitation center since September 6. The fired American Pickers star's longtime friend filed an emergency appointment of temporary guardian and conservator for him on August 18. The guardian's initial care plan for protected person filed on October 18 and obtained exclusively by the U.S. Sun reveals he was unemployed at the time of the stroke. When asked if the protected person is employed, the guardian checked off no. This comes as a shock, as Frank owns Illinois antique shop Frank Fritz Finds. Frank was also in talks for his own spin-off show at the time of the stroke. A source told the U.S. Sun in May, he is in touch with a producer who lives in Las Vegas. Frank has sold him a lot of stuff for his ranch. He recently went out there again. I think it could be for his show. A fan who met Frank said, he is trying to get a show about nostalgic car restorations with a story behind them in the works. The U.S. Sun previously reported from the court papers that Frank has no will for his $6 million fortune. As the U.S. Sun previously reported, Frank has been at a rehabilitation center since he was released from a hospital on September 6. The guardian's responsibility will be to facilitate all care needs, provide transportation to all medical appointments, and help with all social and domestic needs. By the time of Frank's discharge from the rehabilitation center, his Iowa farmhouse must have ramps and handles for the shower and toilet. The guardian will help Frank with his Crohn's disease treatment and continued physical therapy. He will also help the former American Pickers star grocery shop, cook, and get Frank to any activity he feels up to. The U.S. Sun previously revealed Frank would be under a temporary guardianship and conservatorship. The documents read, because of his stroke, Mr. Fritz's decision-making capacity is so impaired that he is unable to care for his own safety, or to provide for necessities such as food, shelter, clothing, or medical care, without which physical injury or illness may occur. Mr. Fritz's decision-making capacity is so impaired that he is unable to make, communicate, or carry out important decisions concerning his own financial affairs. An exhibit was mentioned in the court papers from a doctor, confirming Frank does not have decisional capacity. The legal papers continued, decisions must be made for Mr. Fritz's care and placement while he continues to recover and receive treatment for his injuries. Appointment of a guardian and conservator is necessary to avoid immediate harm to him. The petitioner requested a separate longtime friend of Frank's, who has been assisting him in decision-making since the stroke, be his guardian. A bank would be the conservator to handle Frank's financial affairs. The guardian and conservator were both approved by the court earlier this month. The conservator will pay for Frank's care in the residential facility, control his business interests such as partnerships in companies, pay for his home and everyday living expenses, ensure he has appropriate transportation to medical appointments, and more responsibilities. Frank was hospitalized for a stroke on July 14 after a friend found him on the floor of his Iowa home. In an interview with the Quad City Times, an insider revealed that Frank was on the mend and his health was improving daily. The friend told the publication, he would like everyone to know he continues to get better every day and is very determined. He really is getting better every single day. The friend also alluded that Frank was not happy his hospitalization was released to the public by his former friend and co-star Mike Wolfe. The source said, while Frank was not prepared at the time for his condition to be published, he is grateful for all the prayers and well wishes. Mike, 58, broke the news of the stroke by captioning an Instagram photo of the reality star soon after the hospitalization. I have been very private in the past year in regards to Frank's life and the journey he's been on. There has been lots of opinions in regards to mine and Frank's friendship and the show, but now is not the time to set the record straight. Now is the time to pray for my friend. Frank has suffered a stroke and is in the hospital. Please keep him in your hearts and thoughts. Frank, I pray more than anything that you make it through this okay. I love you, buddy. Frank previously confirmed to the U.S. Sun that the longtime friends had a falling out. Frank last appeared on American Pickers during a March 2020 episode, as he took time off to recover from back surgery, which left him with 185 stitches and 2 rods in his spine. During his time off the show, Frank lost 65 pounds. He also told the U.S. Sun that he entered rehab for alcohol addiction in Iowa for 77 days. Frank previously said, "I went to rehab and I've been sober now for 11 months. I didn't like drinking anymore. My mom was an alcoholic and she died 5 years ago, and it was alcohol related. My grandfather was an alcoholic and he died. That didn't sit well with me." Frank said of his time in treatment, "They gave me a lot of information and we were booked up for 13 or 14 hours a day. There was no sitting around watching TV or eating food. You were scheduled out for an hour, then an hour and a half, all through the day. They really give you a lot of one-on-one time. I read 12 self-help books while I was there. I didn't *** around. I really got into it. I went there to learn and get the most out of it that I possibly could. I had a great time there and I helped other people who were having problems too. It's one of the best things that have happened to me." Frank continued that he goes to meetings twice a week after the stint. Frank was open about wanting to return to American Pickers after his hiatus, as he said, "I'd still like to get back to my job. I miss my friends and my people, and being on the road and meeting all those different characters." But Mike soon revealed Frank had been fired from the series. Frank owns an Iowa farmhouse that he bought for $155,000 back on May 14, 2010. The show currently stars Mike, his brother Robbie, and Danielle Colby.